to our online info session for the Unit Clerk Certificate Course at Ashton College. My name is Ashley, and I'm from the Marketing and Communications team. Today, I'm joined by Tina, one of our amazing faculty members at Ashton College. Thanks so much for joining us today, Tina.
Hi, everybody.
Lindsay and Demi are in the back end monitoring our online chat. There's a lot of ways to engage with us during the session today, and we love hearing your questions. So on Zoom, you can use the chat box, the question and answer box, or the hand raise function. And if you're tuning in on Facebook Live, welcome. You can leave us a comment and we'll be able to answer your questions live during the session. If you're watching this video on YouTube, you can leave us a comment or give us a call at 604-899-0803 or toll free at 1-866-759-6006. So before we get started, I just want to share about the program dates and the costs with you all. The online session will be starting on July 18th, and the in-class session will start on September 12th. Webinars are held on Monday to Thursday from 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. PST. And for those of you choosing the in-class option, classes are held Monday to Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. PST. The application fee is $40 for domestic students and $140 for international students. The tuition fee is $5,400 for domestic students and $7,020 for international students. And all this information can be found on our program webpage. Both online and in class will have a 90-hour practicum. So now on to the interview portion. Tina, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. I wanted to start with maybe you could share with us a little bit about your career experience with Unit Clerk and educational background.
Hi, thank you, Ashley. Hi, everybody. So my name is Tina, like Ashley said. I've been in the industry since 1998, so quite a few years. I started as a unit clerk. I went to VCC, Vancouver Community College back then, and I became a unit clerk right away, got a job right away, and basically worked for the cancer clinic, which is part of PHSA, Health Authority. And I was a unit clerk, I was a supervisor, I did a lot of different desks in the hospitals. And I started getting into teaching about 10 years ago, and I've taught unit clerks and MOAs the last 4 years quite a bit. It's my main focus now is teaching.
That's amazing. That's a lot of experience. How would you say that this program is beneficial for students? What do you think students will enjoy or appreciate the most about this program?
Yeah, I think this program is awesome. It's not very long, right? So the duration is great. Having evening option, online option is great because you can still work and take courses for your education. Being a unit clerk is in high demand. It's a great job. It starts at a great wage. If you get a job with the health authority, you get into a union position. There's opportunities of getting permanent job positions, which leads to vacation and pension and benefits. So being a unit clerk is a great, some say it's a gateway into getting into healthcare. Some people are doing it, they have an interest in being into nursing or something like that. And then they're like, well, maybe I'll just see if I like healthcare. This is a great way to start.
Absolutely. What are your expectations of the students who enroll in the program? How much study time students would need each week to be successful? What does it take?
Yeah, well, I expect students to attend the sessions, to take it as serious as if you were being in person, right? It is online, but we have to treat it like it's your regular course time. So on top of the regular course schedule, you probably have about 6 to 12 hours of study time. It's very varied depending on which program, which course we're doing at the time. What do I expect? You need to be responsible for your own learning. Take lead on your education. Be prepared. Be respectful and courteous of the other students in your class. And, just have fun. And just, take it as an opportunity of learning from me as well. I've been in the industry a long time, so I can give you a lot of tidbits or, share lots of different things that could help you in your career.
Yeah. What are some of the career options or typical next steps for students after they graduate from the program?
Yeah, unit clerks, they have a great variety of different areas that they can work. the hospitals, there's a lot of different units. You know, you can work on a maternity ward, or you can work in emergency, you can work on a surgical ward, and they're all very different. So besides hospitals, you could work at outpatient clinics, you could work in walk-in clinics, you could work for the x-ray department in the hospitals, you could do bed booking. There's a lot of different options. You could work for private surgical offices.
So sorry to interrupt, we actually have a question from our Facebook audience, and it says, what is your favorite part about working as a unit clerk?
My favorite part is the patients. I love helping patients. You know, the doctor writes an order, the unit clerk processes that order, and that helps your patient. So you're talking to patients, you're giving them information that they need for, you know, for a diagnostic test or something. So the interaction with patients is very high, and that's my favorite part. I love talking to patients, helping them. I love processing orders from the physicians.
That sounds very exciting. You were saying that there's so many different like units and different areas that you can work in. Is that something that you can kind of explore once you get into the industry? Can you switch units once you try one, see what you like?
Yeah, when you work for the health authority of the hospital system, you become a casual first. So you're on call, which can be tough in the beginning, but it's where you start. And then once you're in, you know, the system as an employee, as a casual, then you can apply for the different part-time and full-time, temporary and permanent lines that they have. So the different units all have, you know, the different positions. You can work in one area like maternity, like I said, and then you could do that for a year and be like, you know, I would really like to work on neurology. So you can approach that manager and say, I'm already trained for, you know, the system that they use, which Fraser Health is Meditech, for instance. They would rather take you on, right? You're already trained. So moving around the hospital is quite popular. You could be a casual for 2 or 3 different units.
Yeah, I've heard that flexibility can be really nice, actually, a nice benefit of the casualness.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to students who are brand new to the industry or changing careers from something like radically different?
Well, the need for unit clerks has increased a lot, especially since COVID pandemic, right? The industry, yeah, it's where everybody, I still work in the industry. I'm a supervisor at Jim Pattison. So my employees are unit clerks. And I can tell you that every unit, Jim Pattison at Cancer Clinic, are looking for unit clerks. So the need is there. There was talk about technology changing, there was the worry that we wouldn't need unit clerks at some point because we would be going to order entry, the physicians wouldn't need it. But it's actually, that's been talked about for, oh my gosh, the last 10 years, and it hasn't happened. And actually, the more as we go to order entry, and the need is actually more. You think that, you know, you wouldn't need as many people, but you actually ended up needing more because the doctor can put it all in electronically, but he needs someone to still do those tasks, right? So the worry of unit clerks not being needed is false. So I know some people getting in the industry have heard that, but it's not true.
Absolutely. I think in person is always going to be relevant, especially in that industry, you know, in healthcare, you need actual people. Do you have anything else that like has COVID affected the industry in any way, or any more thoughts on that?
It's put more pressure on healthcare, on the unit clerks for sure, you know, with COVID and the amount of sick calls, right? So our staffing levels have really been hit hard. And it's not anyone's at fault or anything. We have to take care of our health first, right? So I think the pressure and the workload has increased a lot. COVID is still around, and there's still talk about it, you know, still being around. So it goes in waves, obviously, but I think people are getting, I don't want to say more used to the demand, but we've been doing it for almost 3 years now. So we're getting used to it. So I think it's just a different kind of pressure now, because it's always been busy. Healthcare is busy, but now it's just a different kind of pressure.
And with that pressure comes, more shifts, more need for more unit clerks, and so
Yeah.
people are picking up more hours, which is great.
Yeah, we actually can't find unit clerks. It's not much of a demand right now. Yeah.
Incredible. What qualities or characteristics make people best suited to be a unit clerk or look at this career path?
You need to be organized. So it's probably the biggest thing. Organized, efficient, quick, quick learner. You got to be a team player. Being a unit clerk, you're part of a team. And when you look on the inpatient unit, they have the desk, they have the hub. That's your domain, right? So you're working with nurses, physicians, allied health members. It could be anybody, right? Care aides. And then you're working with the different departments in the hospital, the lab, housekeeping, everything. So being a team player is key, and being confident, right? So when you do your program and you get a job, you've done your practicum, be confident with the skills that you have learned. Everybody, no matter what, goes on a unit, has to learn the way they do things. So that's normal for anybody, but be confident with, I did the program, I have the skills, the base skills, right? I think some new people get intimidated by physicians, and that's quite normal, but it's something that you really need to. Oh, my thing's talking to me, sorry. You have to be confident and a willingness to learn, because things are forever changing and there's always learning opportunities. I've been in the industry almost 25 years and I'm still learning. So, willingness to learn, being open, and someone who loves the challenge. It's not a boring job, and it can be challenging at times.
Absolutely. And what an environment to learn in and work on your confidence. You're probably learning so much from all of your colleagues, physicians, nurses, other clerks, and physicians in the hospital. It must be a very incredible environment to be in, very busy and exciting.
Yeah, and it's supportive. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You're all in the same boat, right?
Well, it's all about the patient, right? So
yeah, exactly.
Same goal. Yeah.
How has the industry changed during your years of experience? You kind of touched on that with the COVID and the demand, but
it hasn't changed a lot, to be honest. It's still the same relationship, with the physician and the nurse and the unit. Just the different areas that I've been in, makes it different from my experience. I've been on inpatient units, I've been outpatient, I've done bed booking, I've done registration. There's a lot of different areas that I've had the opportunity to work at. So the difference is, I think it's just on the different units, but the job itself, a unit clerk, and the duties, processing orders and managing the unit, answering phone calls, wayfinding for patients and visitors, and stocking, prepping, stuff like that, that's still around, and it has been for the last 20 something years.
Yeah, it's a very physical environment. There's always going to be a lot of stuff to do and the same kind of needs, I would assume.
Yes. Yeah.
I'd love to open up the floor to any questions. Feel free to raise your hand or drop your questions in any of our chats that we have going on right now. Give a minute for people.
Can I ask a question? Is that okay for me to do? Awesome. I would love, Tina, if you could maybe talk about your teaching style and what an online environment, what that's like for you to teach, and is there anything you do different that with an online environment, and just speak on your experience with that.
Most of my experience for teaching has been online, and it can be challenging, I think, for some, and especially for people that are coming back in to getting an education. Maybe they've been in the workforce for many years and they're changing careers, and they're a little anxious about doing a course at a certain stage in life, and everybody has, I think, a learning curve with online. So my style is very supportive. I love the interaction with students. When I have a class, there's an option of, for instance, keeping your camera on or not, and I actually encourage it and prefer it, because for me, I'm talking to nothing now. So I love it when students have their cameras on and we're interacting and we're working as a team, because that's the way I treat my classroom and the students. So I like that, and I think it's supportive. And then we get to know each other and build that relationship. Like there's some courses that I teach back to back. I might teach a few, you might get me a few times in your program. So you get to know me, right? And I'm very open to communication. It's just not that time you have online with me. You can email me anytime. You know, we can do one-on-one after or something if needed, if you want some private time with me. So my approach is very, very supportive. And I try to help as much as I can, because I understand the pressure and the constraints of just life in general. And a lot of my students, you know, they're working full time and they're rushing on the computer to get home to do their course. And, you know, I'm doing the same. I work as well. So we're all in the same boat. I think as much support as we can have for each other, everyone's going to be happy and successful and doing well, right?
Honestly, that sounds like such an incredible learning environment. As someone who's done a lot of online classes, I agree. I think having everyone's camera on and just the class discussion that you can still have in that online environment is so important to just the flow of the class and how everyone communicates and gets their ideas across. I think it makes them more comfortable. That's definitely a very good way to do it, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any other final words of advice or thoughts to share with us that we've missed?
We've covered quite a bit. I think for anybody teetering on whether they should take the program or not, I think, you know, being a unit clerk, like I said before, it's a great job. It's high in demand. It's a good gateway for other, you know, bigger commitments, obviously, like nursing. The program is a good like duration. Some are longer, but I've actually taught, I think I've taught every course in the program now, because I've been here for a couple of years with Ashton, and I can say the content is very thorough and you are getting the experience with your practicum at the end, and that is a very valuable part of the program as well. So I think, you know, and I don't know what the other programs are doing like in the industry, but I've gotten really good feedback from my students about Ashton. So I think you should just, you know, go for it. And I hope I get you in my class, because yeah, I love having the relationship with students. Like I said, I supervise as well right now, and I supervise unit clerks in the industry, and supervising, you know, you're mentoring, you're teaching, and that is what I love. So that's why teaching is something I'm really passionate about. So, you know, helping students grow and learn is my main priority. So it makes it easy for me too, because I love it. So
amazing. Honestly, I think anyone who signs up for the course will be very lucky to have you as a teacher. You sound very supportive, very communicative. You're very passionate, which I think is integral to, you know, teaching a course, or that's your profession. So yeah, it sounds very exciting. Thank you so much for giving us so much information for this online session. And if anyone wants any more information, all our links will be in the description. You can also go to the website, check out the brochure. There's a lot more info online. And yeah, thank you so much for joining us. Tina, thank you for coming tonight and sharing with everyone. And
no worries. Thank you for having me.
yeah, I hope everyone has a great night. Make sure to check out our website and check out the program. Have a wonderful night, everyone. Thank you.